Love your hair, by the way. Hello, hello, beautiful people. Tina and Cynthia are gonna join us. Hello, Victoria. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm
Thank you
doing
for
well.
having
Can
me
you hear
on.
me?
I can hear
Can
you
you
very
hear me?
well. I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
Okay, cool. Because I don't have access to the mic right now. I'm on the road again.
I'm
So
on the
much has
road
happened.
again.
Yes.
Where
How
are
are
you?
you?
Where are you?
Ooh, I can't tell. It's a secret location, but
Oh, wow.
yes, I'll tell you later after.
Okay.
But how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, busy. I've been writing and writing. I'm trying to write before I go on holiday. Get it all done. But it's a
Oh,
lot. I've got a lot to do. I've got a week left. And then I might
oh.
have to take the laptop with me actually and work
Mhm.
from home. How have you been?
Oh, I've been doing okay. Like I've been following the Olympics of boxing thing and
Oh, I
stuff. It's
know,
like,
right?
by the way, guys, don't forget to go to Victoria's channel. You still haven't named your channel something
I
that
haven't
so
been
you
on all
want to.
week either. Terrible, Paula. I'm just not managing my time.
No, but I mean, are you gonna name your channel Victoria VVS1?
I think so. No. Maybe something like Victoria's Chat or something like that. But yeah, the VVS one was just something that I just come across. It's to do with diamonds, isn't it? So
I
it's
don't know.
clear diamonds. It's the clearest diamond is VVS one, and I just liked that. That was my Instagram, and that is my Instagram. And so I just
I didn't
used
know that.
that. Yeah. But I do
I
need to
didn't
think
know
of
that.
something, Paula. Yeah. The thing is, once I've got something, I need to stick with it, right? And
Yeah.
it's nothing that I particularly like at the minute that's like going, yeah, I really like it. And maybe I'm
Yeah.
just being too fussy, you know.
Oh no, I
Hi,
mean,
everyone in the chat.
for me, I just did Paula M channel. I mean,
I know. Maybe I should just do that, Paula.
yeah, just keep it simple. Just keep it simple and going. I mean, I've been following this thing about the boxer because it's just so terrible. Finally the boxing world boxing association, they came out and said we gave them two tests, both of them, and they both failed the test. They both came back as XY as male, right? And they said that the Chinese guy didn't contest it, didn't appeal it, and then Khalif, the other guy, he appealed it, but then he dropped it.
This is a difficult one for me because my kids are Algerian, right? So we're obviously really kind of pro Algeria.
Yeah, but it
But
doesn't take away
I
from the
was
fact that
no,
this
it
guy is
doesn't.
biologically male.
Yeah, and well, I've heard that he's got he that the lady is bio. Can't say the word.
If you have XY
Biology.
chromosome, no.
Right.
If
So
your genetic
th-
makeup is XY, if your
that's
chromosomes
male.
are XY,
Yeah,
you're
that's
man.
male.
You may have
Yeah,
been born with some sort of genetical defect.
that's
You might have
yeah.
developed some tests, some uterus
But
or something, but then you don't menstruate because you're mostly male.
yeah,
So that's a genetic malfunction, because when you are in the womb, you start off as woman, as female, and at the third
so
or
it's a
fourth
two
month
the
it
two
starts to
X chromosomes
yes,
make a
exactly.
girl, and the
And
XY.
then the
But
XY, and I just want for people, because people say maybe women have XY. No, a woman, if you have XY, you are a man. If you are
but was
XX,
she
you're a
not
female.
born with female genitalia?
No, he was. This is the thing. They're being very shady about it. They're
Hmm.
being very shady because sometimes it's like you know that there's a kid right now that was born with four arms and four legs and two heads. Hello,
Where was
Tina.
this? I know there's a
Hi.
lot of deformities
No, no, no.
with to
This
do
kid
with the
was born with four
chromosomes.
legs
Hi,
and four
Tina.
arms.
Hi.
Hello, guys. This kid was born with four legs and four arms and two heads. Does that make him an octopus?
uh,
Oh,
he gets
how
this. It sounds
facetious
like he's
of
got.
you, Paula. How facetious.
XY. If you're XY, you're a male. Unfortunate. Like there's some people who were born with small penis. God knows, I know a guy I dated. I remember his males would tell him, you should pee sitting down because
Hello,
you make the
everyone.
whole.
Did it not touch the sides?
How are you, Tina? I mean, what do you guys
That's
think?
why he's an
You can
ex.
agree to disagree. What do you think, Tina?
Oh,
Do you know what? I just feel like we may as well just jump on the bandwagon of woke, hadn't we? Because that's the way the world is going. That's how I feel.
yes. No. Well,
I feel like
KPWH. Go. Sorry, go on.
if you were to go against, you're a bad person anyway. So you know, can't.
Oh,
KPWHU is saying, yeah, no, he's Mal. No, it's just because I've got a very strong Algerian family who are all defending. So I'm listening to their point of view. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just
oh God, I
saying
think a very strong stance
it's a
with that
sore
one.
conversation in my
Oh, God,
household.
yeah,
Okay, I
no,
can't. I'm
you
just
know,
keeping quiet.
but the thing is that is genetics, that is biology.
Yeah,
You may be
but
born.
but they're trying to put an argument forward that she, even though with this XY chromosome, that she was actually born with female genitalia and therefore
Yeah,
can run.
you can be born, and you can
Do
be
you
born
know
Yes.
with
what?
both.
So where do we find? I don't
No,
know.
because
It's
you're a man with some genetical malfunction, but you're a
because
male.
he's got
Your
more
genetic makeup
testosterone.
is male. Never
Do you
Yeah.
know
mind the
what though?
testosterone.
I just think it's the tip of the iceberg, and it's just that one moment where over off the back of universities and trans in swimming races and stuff like that. It's not just a isolated incident in this person in the Olympics, and I understand it's something that they can't help. So I get that element, but I just think it's just like a moment, like it blows up and it goes a bit crazy. I don't
Do you know
know.
what? I'd rather have the Algerian in there being a woman than the PDO diddy do in there doing what he was. He was
Shouldn't be an
charged
option.
for essays
It
on a
shouldn't be an
12-year-old
option.
girl. I'd much rather him in there than the other one. So he shouldn't have been allowed to run at all.
No, but
That
I
was
mean, we
disgusting.
shouldn't be put in that
Latanya,
situation.
Latanya, I had a kid with 6 fingers. They're not aliens. That's funny. Sorry.
But that's true. As a man, sometimes you know your genes, but your genetic makeup, your XY.
No.
GPS signal lost.
Oh my god. My phone just
Where are you
started
off?
talking to me.
Now,
That's
is that
scary.
Cynthia? Cynthia's on the road trying to reach us.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But I mean,
That's
guys, we have to talk about Meghan Markle's birthday. Because Meghan Markle's poor acting skills tanked that interview.
yeah.
Do you know what? Is it the acting skills, or is it we just don't trust Meghan Markle? Everyone knows what she's capable of. So even if she came out and done a Julia Roberts moment, people would still think it was shit because it's Meghan Markle. Do you know what I mean? Like it's she's so transparent now. So even when she drops in that, I've not even scratched the surface, we're all like, well, we know what that is. That's a threat. There's a thinly veiled threat as you're using it to jump on these people and their grief, a bit like you jumped on the Invictus and all the wounded athletes to drape yourself over them.
But I mean, the brutal. We're gonna go. I clipped just where they're talking, right?
Yeah.
Because I gotta tell you, even that lady who says that she lost her son and that her son was really happy. He was a football player. He had a massive car. He had a bunch of friends, and suddenly he just went online, and it was the cyberbullying. There's gotta be more to that story. I do not believe at all, and they're not being honest about it. And that's another. And are you telling me that they could only get three couples?
Well,
Oh,
do you know what? Isn't there's rumor of it all going off after the interview and her being rude to a producer
Yeah.
allegedly. And do you know what? For me, in my experience with a narc, you could see that anger when the woman said, "Oh, you haven't got many," and she was like, "Well, we have to start somewhere," kind of thing. And I think that points out that actually what you're doing is really small right now. Well, regardless, if you cared about that plight, it wouldn't matter if you had one person next to you. But for Meghan, she likes to project a big, and this is massive. And that woman's just said to her on that stage, "Oh, this is only small for now." And that little bits like that gets to an arc.
mm.
You know what it is, though? This is not okay. This is something that I firmly believe. She just put this together because she wanted to put it on her birthday, right? Because this is they're not gonna do she's trashing people that people are using on our online, and she's using online to supposedly help these people. So
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. Number two, I don't believe for 1 second that this was a true intention. This is like the 40 by 40 or any other things that she said. This was just an excuse for her to get an interview at CBS with somebody. So she would
Mhm.
have an interview there. The great thing is that they refused to have her just with her. She needed to have Harry there.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, I don't think she ever believed for 1 second to actually follow through with this. Can you imagine if Catherine, the Princess of Wales, do you guys remember that initiative of Baby Bank that she had? Like some companies donated 10,000 items each company to put
Mhm.
together for children, the baby banks that they call it.
Mm.
It was massive
It was
nationwide. Right?
massive. Yeah.
That's when she had everything in place and everything was donated. Then she did the little thing of her packing and showing, and then can you imagine if Catherine had shown up with 2 items?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you can't. But still, and that's the thing, that's the saddest thing. I done a post today and I was like, I pray for those people that they're actually going to commit to this. But history tells us they won't. And these people, this is like the rawest thing that's ever happened. They've got a bit of glimmer of hope through their grief that Harry and Meghan, it's like, are going to come in and use this platform. And from what we've seen before, and it's just like KPWHU just said, you can't get much lower than the exploitation of bereaved parents for cheap PR, shameful behaviour. Well, actually, you can, because you can go to Uvalde, you can go to a children's hospital with poorly children and exploit them like she has. Like it's just Meghan and what they do, haven't they?
what do you think, Victoria?
Can't hear you very well. I'm gonna have to come back in and out. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Okay. I'm gonna play you a little bit of this, Tina, because first she goes first ahead of Harry, like usual, 10 paces ahead of Harry. I don't know if it's because she's always done it, but I
Yeah.
think Harry doesn't the body language. We have to talk about Harry's body
Yeah.
language because that is brutal. That is
Hmm.
brutal. Let's play this a little bit.
Friends got together.
Look at her. This is, I gotta tell you, the way she walks is very predatory.
Hmm.
This was not your typical receiving line. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, better known as Harry and Meghan, are definitely big huggers. It was a meeting of an exclusive club.
Oh, it's good to meet you.
This is interesting. She's just meeting that person. You would have thought that she would have had meetings with these people.
Yeah.
You know, like
No, 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 absolutely.
we've been in talks. This is, and how not, like nice to see you again, nice to meet you again. This is something that they've been planning for a while. This was put back on the fly just for her to have it. And like you say, Tina, she uses people. So if you criticize the people, then she goes, oh, if you criticize her, oh, you're criticizing the people. No, we're
Hmm.
criticizing her.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you make of this?
Ugh. That's why I've got the drink so I can sit through watching these clips, because I think majority now, if you're anything like me, I literally just get a really uneasy frustration in watching her, because it's so, and the only reason she's got this stage, she's able to do this, is because she married Harry. And we've watched that Harry, or whatever he was before, completely the demise of a man who's now a boy, and now we get to watch her sort of use people like we have with Victor, Uvalde, and the little children in the hospital, taking the Polaroids. You never see these people in her life again. And like you said, this is the first time, supposedly, unless it's just set up, that she's meeting this woman. And you would have thought, if it's got to the point where, I feel like you need to connect with these people, really understand their stories. And that's why maybe when this woman's telling her story, you've got this really awkward Meghan just staring into the abyss, almost like an AI robot. because it's a, you know, you need to strike, you need to feel their story, to feel impassioned about it, to drive it forward. But it's not about that, is it? It's not about that. And that's why it always falls flat with Meghan, because there's no care in what she's there for. It's honestly, I said, when she sat there staring at the woman, and this poor woman is like pouring her heart out, she's not even looking to her. And I just see Meghan just feeling the aesthetic and how this is going to look in the projection. I don't see any. She's a vessel, in my opinion, as you know.
Her new meet and greet is through hugging now. Apparently, she's changed her instead of shaking hands, she's hugging everyone.
Now, keep in mind that all of this was scripted and written by Meghan Markle. Everything that Jane Pauley's saying is scripted. Oh, they're huggers. Remember how Meghan keeps going, I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
I've always loved hugging people. This is absolutely scripted by Rachel Meghan Markle, an unemployed D-list mattress actress.
Can
Okay?
I just point out, though, she's a hugger, apart from when a woman is sat next to her, pouring her heart out, and where's the hugs? You can't even look at the woman. The woman's not even there. Harry's like a mirage at this point. It's the Meghan show, and she's using these people to sort of propel her. Carry on, Paula.
No, go for it. Didn't she have her claw on that woman at the Hamptons? And the woman wasn't even talking anything traumatic, but she's a multi-millionaire.
She's a millionaire. There's a difference.
And she wasn't talking about losing her. You would have thought that she would have reached out to this lady and hold her hand.
Mm-hmm.
There's no empathy there. So when someone spills their heart out to her, I think she doesn't have to cope with that scenario. She doesn't know what to say because she can't relate, because for her there is only a level of depth and it doesn't go that far. She's not like an onion. She's like a carrot.
That's so true. It's so true.
There we go. My analogy. But that's true. It's very difficult with people that are narcissists or sociopaths. When someone comes and speaks to you about their life and they're trying to get they're trying to relate with you, it's very difficult for that other person, if they're not in any way empathetic or caring, that they can't have a conversation. They don't know how to back and forth. And I think that's where she fails, because she can't be with another human being on that level. It's actually very awkward for her, and you can see that she's awkward. She feels uncomfortable, and she feels like in a situation like, quickly get me out of this. I can't handle this woman being emotional next to me, because I don't do that. I'm not that person.
What is that?
What is this?
Is that? And it's perfect description of a carrot, because it's like,
I don't know where I got that from.
There's no layers. There's no depth.
No.
It's just,
and like Shrek says, with you know? Shrek's the one with the onion analogy, and I've always referenced that.
Yeah.
I mean, Shrek the movie, like in Shrek.
The donkey says something about being layered like an onion, you know, and I thought that was great.
I'm like an onion. You peel a layer, you know, because they were talking about him being superficial. I remember that. I watched Shrek quite a lot. Yeah, but this is, you know, and the thing is that this whole thing was scripted, and amazing that Gail is not even touching that interview with that 10-foot pole. And there were screams because she wanted half an hour interview, and they cut out most of the things that she said, and they put Harry, and she didn't even want the families there talking. She just wanted them to be shown, and then her talking about them.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Because that's the one thing. Right, and what you're saying about she's uncomfortable, I think we can all agree that we're all uncomfortable as well. That feeling literally just spreads, because we're just like, this is so awkward, because she can't, you know, people say, you know, like that when she mentions the kids, and she even that's weird. It's all off. Every time she has to speak reality, but I always feel like Meghan's just constantly reading a script in her mind of the big word salad. And anyone interjects into reality with Meghan, and she just loses her shit in her head, and she's like, oh, kids, what? You know, because she's I think it's all about the projection of what she is rather than her actually giving us who she truly is, even though she is accidentally giving us what she is, you know.
Well, sociopaths or paths, I don't know how we all pronounce these words these days. They put on this facade where they mirror what they want you to. They expect to behave. They put on a certain behaviour and mirror it in a way that they think is socially normal and is socially
Yeah.
acceptable. So she's really role playing at the moment. She's role playing how she thinks people should perceive her. But the thing with that is if it is fake and there is a facade up, that people are going to notice the little flickers
Yeah.
of fakeness within that, because it's very difficult to manage being emotionally intelligent in that situation and pretend that you're emotionally intelligent
Yeah.
when you're not. And you can see that she's probably that it comes across like she's quite an introvert person, even though she likes to be extrovert. She has like this double side where she completely shuts down when any emotion comes in her vicinity. And I think she looks like she's sickened by it, and that's scary.
It is scary.
She just hates it when they take away camera time from her.
Yeah.
That's what sickens her, because in her mind it's like panicking because, oh my god, the camera's on them and not on me. That's what sickens this woman. Now she says that she's a big hugger. That's a big hugger because she's invading your space. But what about if anybody comes into the streets and say, hello Megan, let me give you a hug? I can guarantee you that this woman would set the bodyguards on you and have you arrested, because she is allowed to invade your space.
I can tell you what she'll say. She'll say, move away from me, you dirty peasant.
Do you know what though? Speaking on this, and it'd be interesting, I have to get it and send it over to you, Paula, because there's a clip of Johnny Depp and he's on a stage somewhere and there's someone, I can't remember what the context was, but they were upset, and the way he moved his body to like face her and the tactile nature in how he looked her in the eye, there's a difference in how someone with empathy can react in you know, in that situation, and what we got from Meghan Markle. And I'm gonna have to find that clip because it just shows, you know, and this is where the simple actions and behaviors we can read in a person. I think the large majority at this point with Meghan Markle, this far down the line, we're not reading a genuine, where, you know, and I know I'm biased for Johnny Depp, but just his whole interaction, the way he literally moved his whole body, just those simple in opening up to this person, you know, inviting them in and just being there for them in that moment. We don't see that here.
No, and also you gotta take into consideration that. Oh, thank you, Robert, my honey. The only also another thing that you have to take into consideration is that Meghan Markle is the kind of person. I mean, she doesn't have anybody left from original Friends, does she?
No, she don't have friends. She can't. She's not able, in my opinion, to hone relationships.
No,
She's
and
that
that's
far
correct.
gone.
I believe that too. I do believe that she's not able to maintain relationships because you can see throughout her history there is nobody that stayed by her side. And in fact, we're kept in the dark about who she has in her life, and she doesn't push anyone to the forefront via the media as to who is her close friends, if she does have close friends. I think she's a type of woman that won't let another woman in her life in fear that they would try to seduce her husband. But I think she finds other women a threat. And they definitely couldn't be prettier than her or more attractive than
See,
her.
I don't even think it goes that deep. I think it's
don't know.
worse than that. I think Harry, she don't care for. Like, the only person
Really?
in Meghan's life is Meghan Markle.
Yes.
I don't think she gets insecure about Harry going off. Otherwise, you know, like we've all had boyfriends or husbands. You know, all the big bit
How
in the
many
book.
husbands have you had, Tina?
No, I'm just saying, like with Chelsea Davy, and
I know,
actually
I'm
let him just write that, and people were like, "Oh my God, like how must Meghan feel about him writing about?" She don't care. Like she wouldn't want anyone else coming on the scene, any friendships, because she doesn't want anyone being bigger than her, not even her husband.
Yes,
Like
everybody's a threat.
yes, everyone's a threat, and it's
Yeah.
not even a case of, oh, they might steal my husband. It's like they may outshine me, even her children.
It's
They
a
might take the
combination, isn't it?
They might steal the spotlight. They might steal the spotlight.
Mhm.
She's just concerned.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's not jealousy for Harry because
No.
she loves him. No,
Mhm.
it's just like, if somebody comes and he goes after her, then I mean, as it is right now, she's struggling.
But
You know,
also, you've got to remember, she can't have anyone else in their lives because they will be able to manipulate that situation. If somebody else can feed into Harry, then he's got another person to bounce off with regards to his feelings and what's going on in his life. Whilst she's got him isolated, there is no one else he can speak to but him. And that's where she wants to keep him. Having couple friends and people out coming
It's a
into the inner
danger.
circle will change the dynamic, and she's scared of that. She needs to control the situation, and nobody can be involved to keep him where she needs him to be. I think that's what she's
And
doing.
that's why she's always clinging on to him. She won't let go for long. And even in social situations, she can't risk anyone interjecting with a bit of reality, a bit of like, come on, Harry, a bit of like, do you remember when we were kids, Harry? Like when we used to do that, his friends, gone, you're gone. Like he has been layered with every bad memory, and no one can interject to that. That's my opinion anyway. Like she is molded this new negative, like, you know, it was always there in Harry, obviously, because no one would take it this far, you know, to sit and sign and do what he's done. Just don't, you know. But what I'm saying is nobody can interject with this new product she's got.
Mm.
but what do you think? What do you think? What do you think about her? Somebody left a comment saying that Meghan Markle gets bored of her man. I don't think she gets bored. The reason she does is because she never really cared for them.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't care about them, it's like for her they were just a stepping stone, and when she can't squeeze anything more out of them, they're gone.
They're a means to an end.
Exactly, they're stepping stones. Absolutely. Let's watch.
And you know what? We're not saying that just pulling out of thin air. Like we know from her history, every person, even her dad, like she steps up. We've watched her literally step up this ladder, stepping on everyone. You know, even down from what's her name, Millie McIntosh from Chelsea. She wanted to be on Chelsea when she was climbing up, step over. No longer, you are no longer in my life. Piers Morgan, I'll go for dinner for you. Get on top of you, over you. Catherine was the one she couldn't get past. Catherine was the one she come out to attack in a different way because she could not go past her. In fact, it was her worst nightmare because Catherine literally in tradition had to step out in front of her. That's my
Yeah, and
opinion.
Catherine, no, she couldn't fool Prince William or Catherine.
No.
And that's what she had to, and I've always said that time was Meghan Markle's worst enemy because she knew that it was just a matter of time before all her lies were discovered and all the garbage came out. It wasn't even her family. It was people like me and you, like Googling stuff. I got a lot of hate at the beginning. I mean, my accounts were canceled and everything because I didn't buy her bullshit. Said, why are they saying she's an A-lister? I mean, and all you needed to do is Google, but there were gaslight. The UK press was gaslighting everybody. This is
That's
why
what
actually,
the UK press does.
huh?
That's what the UK press does. You know, they do that. They are terrible.
But what they do is they build up a character to its highest point, and then they take them down, don't they? And that's been the media's kind of game plan for years and years and years. It used to be a lot worse, and they used to be terrible with celebrities. I mean, you had Gascoigne at one point. They built up a lot of different.
Apple of the people's
Yeah.
eye, like Paul Gascoigne.
Yep, and then when they tear them down, it's ruthless and it's the most destructive form of abuse on these people. But then they built them up into such a starry-eyed fashion that, you know, that's what made good media. And I think maybe that's what they were doing in the beginning, is they decided, right, we're going to build her up and then we're going to take her down, and it's going to make for great headlines.
But then thinking about it though, but every other person, like Meghan and Harry, then become like, if they'd have just gone away and chose to do good and didn't choose the avenues they did, maybe it would have shone a light and people would have carried empathy. In fact, I know they would have, you know, but Harry and Meghan then become their own media where they were trying to strip someone back and down. And that's where, you know, they ain't no better than the media, in my opinion.
No,
Yeah,
I
and
think,
don't worry, guys, we're gonna talk about that wig that she wore, because Meghan can't do this, you know. This is what she has to do this, because that clip-on, you know, it really bothers me. Why can't she use a full-on wig? Why does she have to use the clip-on? This is why you see a huge space here. It's a clip-on. I'm sorry, it's a clip-on. It's a clip-on. But let's play a little bit more of this. Listen, it's nice to meet you. We left her where she's meeting this woman for the first time for the lunch. You would have thought that she would have done some homework. She would have met these people. They would have had chats. So the reason why things are awkward, because they do it last minute and they don't know these people. Let me see, where are we? Oh, here we go.
And one that none of them wanted to join. Most of the parents here have
Look at her square ass too. I'm sorry, but you know, Andrew from 88 POV, she is square bob, and of course wearing beige.
lost a child, directly or indirectly, as a result of exposure to online social.
I just want to say something, guys. Look how this woman is wearing incredibly high heels, right?
Yeah.
She's wearing incredible high heels. She's wearing at least 4-inch high heels. Harry's wearing flats. And look how tiny. Harry's only I think he's 6'1". Look how small this woman, my ass, that this woman is 6'9". Because people were saying that she's 6'9". That's what Catherine is.
Oh, so sorry, she claims she's 6'9".
5'9". Sorry, that they're saying that she's 5'9".
Okay, I was going to say, because she's not 6'9". That's what's going on. Maybe I'm seeing things.
Thinking 6 inches.
Okay, 5'9". She looks like she's my height, really. I'm 5'2". I'd say she's quite short. I don't really see what the
5'4", and the maid was a little bit taller than she was.
She looks 5'2", and I was right, guys. 5'2". Yeah, I can spot a midget when I see one, and I've just found one. She's the same height as me.
And that's why she goes for these stupid high waist trousers to make her legs look longer, isn't it?
But that's, and wearing beige. But let's look at her.
Social media. Harry and Meghan are trying to give them and parents like them some place to turn for help. It's called the Parents Network in association and officially launches today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, because you know what? She didn't know if anybody was going to be there. Because guys, I kid you not, nobody wanted to interview them.
Listen, isn't it quite ironic that they're talking about loss of parents and children? What has she done? She's lost her. What she's done to her own parent? Like, what have they done to their own parents?
I know,
and they're like, it's hypocrisy at its finest hour.
Yeah,
I
really
mean, you can't. It's when you think it can't get any worse, it gets worse. It gets crazy. I mean, this is like, you're gaslighting yourselves at this point. This is what they're doing. They're actually gaslighting themselves. They want to put their heads in the oven, turn the gas on, and just roast themselves. It's done. It's just done.
There you go. This is what annoys me, right? This is what annoys me. Jazzy, Seren, let the boy rest in peace. I lost my son to suicide 4 years ago. I'm so sorry, Jazzy, because this is a reality to real people in their real lives. And when you have these celebrities using it for their own gain, and this is why I speak out about Harry and Meghan and playing the victim and seeing, them accusing Charles of being domestic abuse and financially abusing Harry, which just like blows my mind when you've seen real financial abuse. And that's not on levels of what Jazzy feels. It really pisses me off. The nerve of that exploiting snake, Harry's albatross, would have to answer to her deeds. And that, like, real people suffer this. These parents have suffered grief. And these two who banged their heads on a ceiling and moaned about it, it's a travesty that these two get to do it based off a title. What's Meghan Markle got? What experience she got in this?
She's got no experience.
No.
She's never lost a child, so it's ridiculous. You have
Wait
no.
a minute. Wait a
Go
minute.
on.
She had that miscarriage.
Oh,
And they
okay,
buried
but
that fetus
yes,
like a wild animal in California. By the way, I've been reliably informed that they don't allow you to do that. They don't allow you to take the remains like that. And if you do want to take them, it's like proper burial thing. You're not gonna, because that's considered unhealthy or unsanitary. So you need a permission. You can't just bury remains of anybody under a tree somewhere.
okay.
That
But
doesn't.
also, I do, and listen, I honestly, with women that have miscarriages, it's a terrible, terrible thing to go through. But it's not. There is the relationship there. She should do something with regards to women and miscarriages, and that's something that she has knowledge of and experience of. But she hasn't got experience of losing a full grown child and having a relationship with that child to different circumstances. There is a slight difference with that, and I'm not saying one's worse than the other, but it's harder to understand the loss of a child that you've raised than it is, I think, if you haven't been through it. Do you
But you
understand?
know what, though? This is not about, for them, this is not about, I don't believe, it's not about grief, it's not about bereavement. It's about the social media angle, which they can connect their story to, so they can claim sympathy, so they can get their story out about their pain, about how Meghan was treated, how we're doing this today. It's how they can gaslight the world and attach themselves to another person's plight whilst entwining their own angle to get at people. They don't care about that. We know they've got no history in that other than Harry's loss of his mom, but we've seen, and like trauma is trauma, and I say to people to own their pain, but money is a big help in that, i.e. therapy. It doesn't replace, but there's a lot of people that grieve, that lose a parent and have to rely on GoFundMe's to pay a funeral because their grief instantly gets taken over by, how am I going to pay for this? In that stress and that worry. So Harry didn't get to grieve or join the club because no one really in the real world gets to grieve properly because life takes over, sadly. Sorry, that was a bit deep.
No,
No, that's what we're doing here. But the
I
interest.
just
Go for it. Go for it.
no,
Vicky.
I just think that there is a different experience. Miscarriage
Yeah.
is a different experience from losing a child, and I'm not trying to say one is worse than the other, but they're totally different experiences in my
Yeah.
opinion. And I just want to say, someone just said 5'2" is the stump of a woman. Yes, I am a stump of a woman like Meghan Markle. Thank you.
I'm 5'3", so I'm only.
Oh, you? Oh my God! I was
Yeah.
looking enormous compared to you guys.
Tina, you look really tall to me. I've always just imagined you being really tall. So if you're
I'm
5'3", I'm
5'3".
shocked.
I'm
I'm
That's
5'7".
crazy.
5'7". I used to be
5'7".
I used to be
5'8".
5'7" and I got sharpened down to 5'6".
I used to be 5'8". I used to be
Paula
5'8".
with a
and I had a car accident.
5'7".
No, I used to be 5'8", and I had a car accident and I fractured my back.
Oh,
And yeah, the
you got
T12,
shorter.
the T12 and L1, it's called compressed fracture. It's like if you
Yes.
grab a can of Coke and you crash it like that. And so
Yes.
it doesn't. So I remember the first time I was measured after that. I was like, what do you mean I shrunk an inch? It's like, and the guy goes, well, you have compressed fracture, and your whole spine is literally what gives you and it's like this, so you can see when if you
Yes,
have
I've heard of that. You can get shorter through that.
well, you
Yes.
have to, because if you look at the X-rays, I'm going to see if I can get
Yes.
the X-ray one. You can see that the vertebrae are square like that little round thing, and you have a space in between. But when it's compressed fracture, mine is like they're like that, so there's no space between those two vertebrae, and they're like that.
I
Yeah,
need to have a look at your spine one day,
I
Paula.
will.
I
I
need
have the
to
X-rays.
examine
That's
it.
pretty cool. But this is insane, because I was thinking if Meghan Markle will impose her physical presence on you, whether you like it or not, that's harassment, because you don't know if these people want to hug her back. And you don't
I
find that in LA. You don't find that in LA. And the reason why Jane Pauley says is because this is part of the script, but because it's unusual. You don't go, I can tell you, I've lived in LA and New York. You don't walk around the streets and say, hello, hey, you get punched.
Do you know what though? I'm a hugger, so I do hug people,
You
and I think sometimes they're like, "Why are you hugging me? Don't touch me."
But do you know what though? I did actually do it. I did a post on this, and I said, when she was clinging onto that woman's arm, like I'd feel like I'd want to shake her off, like just piss off. Like there's no appreciation for other people's space. In you know what? I'm a hugger like you with the Megans in the room, and like, I'm tactile. But I wouldn't just go up to anybody. I'd have to understand them and know if they're going to be receiving of that. I wouldn't just go around hugging anyone and everyone.
Oh, I
And
do.
ultimately, like if I was sat there and I had someone clinging onto my arm, I would want to shake it off like irritable leg syndrome. Like I would just be like, fuck off. Like,
well,
what are
maybe
you? I feel uncomfortable not here.
Tina, when we finally meet in person, we're both are gonna hug each other. But because we've been having this relationship, but this woman, like she just said to this other woman, nice to meet you. So she's
Yeah.
meeting this person for the first time. You know what I mean? It's not like they're alone. And I want to say something, because I got a lot of comments about that on my video I did today. Princess Catherine also hugs. But wait a minute, if you always look at Catherine, she waits for people to initiate whatever contact they want to do.
Yeah.
If they want to hug her, she hugs back, but she's not going to come and just, she does extend her hand. And that's a handshake. But if people want to hug, especially children, when she was in Denmark, you guys remember that? The kid said just launched for her to hug her. But she's not the kind of person who's just going to walk first. It's not professional,
Yeah.
you know? And you just go there and oh, I'm a hugger. She's almost fondling people.
Fondling.
Oh, she's
To
a
be honest with you,
fondler.
though,
She's
but
a wandering fondler.
going back to how she sat there and she's like this vessel, I just feel like she walks around and she's constantly trying to perceive how it's going to be perceived by other people. Like I feel like it's just a constant script and a character she needs to give in that moment. So I don't think any reality of what anyone else thinks in that moment. I think she's just in her own movie almost at this point.
And guys, we're gonna tear this apart, because I can see Meghan Markle. I know she watches our channels, guys. So I can tell you something, because I know you watch us. What you did was absolutely disgusting, and everybody's seen through it. People, we're gonna get to it this part. We're gonna go part by part, because I don't want to jump it. So let's play a little bit more here.
Meghan herself knows a thing or two about online bullying.
And how do you do?
And of course, her husband Harry is no stranger to that either, or to unspeakable grief.
The central topic is the loss that these families have suffered.
Now, keep in mind that she said the central topic is the loss of that the family have suffered. Yet you have Harry and Meghan sitting there, and it's all about Meghan, right?
Yeah.
Stories that need to be shared because the parents who are listening, who have not suffered a loss, think that they couldn't. But they could.
They certainly could. And that's, I think, one of the scariest things that we've learned over the course of the last 15, 17 years that social media has been around, and more so recently, is the fact that it could happen to absolutely anybody. I mean, we always talk about in the olden days, if you're
Now, who the fuck came up with that? The olden days. This guy thinks it's like 80. And let's not forget what Harry got up to in the olden days. Nazi uniform wearer. How about being racist with the whatchamacallit, the soldiers? How about him cocaine sniffing on the roof, alcohol
On the
drinking?
roof.
But again, what I said before, again, it's that social media pull, because that is their direction in this. It's social media. I don't think they really care about these people adjacent to them. They're not there now, are they? Because they're doing them. But the social media, what is Harry and Meghan all about? It's about how they're being treated on social media, you know. And this is what it's an angle, and they're using vulnerable people to get that angle.
On a separate note, guys, her jawline has been snatched. She's had some work done on the jawline. That is one mega jawline going on there. I'm looking.
Her ears now.
That is a snatched jawline. That is a tight jawline, and it's elongated, so it's gone further out.
That was a huge, massive in the eyes, because the eyes, you know, as you age, they go down. Her eyes are going like this now.
I've just noticed her chin is her jaw is incredibly longer than it was before.
And it has nothing.
Unless that's just the angle, I don't know. But I'm just thinking.
No. You clearly see
It's a snatched.
This woman has been ironed more than I iron Hendrix shirts. I can tell you that. But this woman, I mean, can you imagine? We know what Harry got up to under the roof, well, without internet, buddy, because he set it on spare. He put that thing on his Todger. He was humping woman behind a pub. He was doing coke, marijuana, magical mushroom. I mean, we know everything. And this is before the internet, because they're trying to let us think that it's the internet causing these things. No, the internet exposes it. But
because you wrote it. Because they wrote it. And that's the thing. I think Harry's got it in his head that it's all the media that we speak on him for. And he's not really connected the dots, bless him, that the fact that, no, it was Oprah. It was Netflix. It was Spare. It's everything you've produced. Like, there's nothing more than when you produce your own visual demise. Like, like everything they set out to speak, it goes against them because of the words they spoke prior. It's just fucking balmy.
Also, girls, do you not think that, you know, why are they doing another project? Haven't they got enough on? They've got their, you know, they've got their. Well, what is this then? It's just another like. It's so messy.
This was for Meghan to highlight that she too tried to commit suicide because of the royal family. Well, I don't know because of whom, because either the entire UK, the press, us, or the royal family.
So you don't think this is going to be a continuation of this, where she's going to be an ambassador for, say, suicidal people, or an ambassador for families in some way, form or fashion? Is it just another like bow to a string that she's got like 20,000 strings now on this bow?
If you look at their history, we see them on cream lavish stages speaking about mental health. We've seen them at schools in poverty-stricken states in New York. There's never been any backup or any follow-up to these schools.
Yes, so it's a whimsy movement then. It's just like, oh, let's just try this today. And
slinging mud and hoping it'll stick and hope people will applaud them for it.
No, but look at them. And can you imagine Harry being the first responder to any emergency that you may have? Listen.
Your kids were under your roof. You knew what they were up to. At least they were safe.
King Charles didn't know what you were up to, Harry. You even wished to kill him.
Right? And now they can be in the next door room on a tablet or on a phone and can be going down these rabbit holes. And before you know it, within 24 hours, they could be taking their life.
Our kids are young. They're 3 and 5.
No, they're not. Why can't she look at and look at Jane Pauley? She has to look down because, oh my God, you know, it's like, bleh.
Do you know what though?
So then
Sorry, Vic.
Sorry,
No,
no,
go
go on.
for it,
I
Beck.
interrupted you, Tina. Go on,
No, I was
carry
just
on.
saying that
Sorry.
it's so true though, because I don't know if it was you or Paula who said it, how they hang on to these stories, and because I feel it's hard because real people are affected by suicide every hour of every day. And this is why they shield themselves. They shield themselves with every sort of trigger word and buzzword since they walked away from the royal family. And it's so hard when you hear him speaking about first responders, and you don't know if your children are in another room. And that's true. But where are your children now? Because you're not even most of the time in the same country as your children. So you're going to sit on a stage and speak to us about protecting our children in the next room, yet you spend your time doing something you don't need to be doing because you left the royal family and you've got a lot of money where you can just go and be free. But you spend a lot of your time sort of out here using these people to strike digs and throw your grenades at the royal family, using other people's plights as you preach to us. And actually, there's probably a lot of parents that hear his words and think, shit,
And
So,
just to clarify, suicide just doesn't suddenly come into your head and pop in. Oh, I think I'm going to commit suicide today. This is an ongoing thing with mental health. I've had people in my family commit suicide. It doesn't just, no one just wakes up in the morning and go, right, that's going to happen. It's a long-term thing, and there are signals. Sometimes there's not always signals, but it's a build up to a point. And a 3 and a 5-year-old are not going to be Googling suicide, are they? And if you need to put parental control on your children's pads by the sounds of things, and monitor them more. If you're worried about what they're watching on the internet, then maybe you should be taking some more control of what they are viewing. Because my 3 and 5-year-olds never ever had access to anything that was going to affect their mental health at that age. Because they weren't watching anything that everything was appropriate and age relevant. And I think that they can't really compare that to a teenager going through struggles, or an adult going through struggles, where there is the mental health is a deterioration. It doesn't just happen. And they kind of make it sound quite flippant in that video. Just
No, it's just like, you're going about the first responder. Well, actually, if we take your words, Harry, which you spoke to the world about how Willie suggested that you go and get some help to finally deal with your demons. So actually, wasn't Willie your first responder in that moment? You didn't have a parent to acknowledge your suffering, but your brother was your first responder because he tried to encourage you to get help. No? And the actual first responder who does actually go and save lives real time in his helicopter. Can I just add?
And not only that, you know why I think they're doing this? Because if you notice this, I actually talked about it in my video earlier today. They're talking about parents' guilt. Oh, you don't have to feel guilty about it. I do believe that this is because they're setting the stage, God forbid, if they have any children, for whatever may happen in the future, because they're crappy parents. I have never met a couple that takes so many vacations away from toddlers in my life. So, and the way they have kept these children completely isolated from the entire world and their family, you know that the United Nations has that is the children's right to have a relationship with extended family, because the first thing that anybody asks you about when there's a child involved, a crime, did you notice any change of behavior? But how can people notice any change of behavior on these children when nobody is around them? And most of the times, a high over 80% of the time when children are being abused or suffering any domestic thing is the parents. So Harry and Meghan are, it is my very humble opinion, are abusing these children because they're denying them their basic rights to have a relationship with their extended family. Because these children are at the mercy of these 3 drug addict idiots: Meghan, Doria, and Harry.
Debbie Hibbins put Archie's first word was grift. That's brilliant. I think that's so funny. Debbie, you've made my day.
Wasn't it crocodile? But let's play.
They're amazing.
Why can't you look straight
But all
up
we want to
at
do
them?
as parents is protect them. And so as we can see what's happening in the online space, we know that there's a lot of work to be done.
I just don't get it. Look at Harry's face. Is this man even you know what? When I was watching this, I was thinking, was this man added on afterwards and Meghan is just there on her own? Because Harry looks like, and she's smiling. I mean, she's talking about something serious, and there's that body dissonance, like you're talking about something serious and you're smirking. It's so
Down there, and we're just happy to be able to be a part of.
Well, you hope
change for
that
good.
when your children ask for help, someone, is there to give it.
If you know how to help.
Harry went off script.
Thank you.
At this point, we've got to the stage where almost every parent needs to be a first responder.
Look at her face looking. Oh my God, she pulled that, that jaw, because somebody pointed out that when you lose weight, and it's true, Meghan Markle is 43, guys, she's not 30. So your jaw, especially with such great weight loss, you can see how that thing is pulled tight. That thing is pulled tight.
Yeah.
I want a jaw like that.
And even the best first responders in the world wouldn't be able to tell the signs of possible suicide. Like that is.
You know what? I got to tell you, does he know what first responders means? First responder means when there's a crisis, they come to the scene. The crime has already happened. That's why they're first responders. So he's saying that first responders wouldn't even be able to tell about suicide. No, of course not, because they're not around the child. And the funny thing is that they could have used this thing to say, you know what? This is why we want to empower the parents and provide experts that can guide us to see if we can spot the earlier signs,
Yeah.
But here this is a very hopeless message. Nobody can stop it.
No.
It's just
is the terrifying piece of this.
Meghan Markle has been there, as she told Oprah Winfrey in 2021.
Like I was really ashamed to say it at the time, and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially, because I know how much loss he suffered.
And I didn't.
But I knew that if I didn't say it, that I would do it. And
no, that's not true.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore.
Yeah, here
You had an experience that connects you to these families, and I see you touch your husband's.
But he doesn't touch her back. Look at that. And look at her face, guys. And look at Harry's face. We have to talk about this.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, Harry.
How can she be smirking like that when they're talking about her trying to kill herself, which is a lie, kill herself because she's stalking Catherine? This is what the whole show was about, to highlight Meghan's plight, what she overcame. Okay, what do you make of Harry?
Is he seeing? Is this the mask slip with Meghan, and is he falling out of love with her? Because if we're talking about something so sensitive where your wife has tried to commit suicide, why is he not comforting her in that moment? He doesn't. His body language seems very distant.
He can't even look at her.
Yeah, he's very rigid. He looks
away. He's not even leaning towards. So what do you make now?
What do you think, Tina?
I just think he's really uncomfortable because he understands what this is again, and I said to you the other day, didn't I, Vic? Right? So people say Harry's a narcissist as well, and I said time will tell on that one, whether he is or not, because he'll either carry on doing this in 20, 30 years' time, or he's going to break and crumble. I feel like he understands exactly what's going on in this moment. Of course, he's not going to stop it because he's Harry and he's not got a backbone at this point. But I just think he understands what this unveiled threat that's coming towards the royal family and how they're going to perceive it. And to be honest with you, like I said, all their shows, all their body language together on Netflix, Spare, has been completely different to this. So they've shown with their own actions and behaviours over a amount of time now, we can see the clear difference in the now to what it was, you know. So yeah, it's awful body language. There's no, you know, he's not holding her hands. He's probably tired of her gripping on, and he's glazing off like he seems to be in most
It's her
scenes
her
now.
acting is wearing
Yeah.
thin.
Yeah.
Because he sees the other side to her, so this innocent portrayal that she puts on, he thinks, well, actually, I know a different side to you, Meghan. You're not as weak as you pretend you are, or you're not as downtrodden as you pretend you are, because I don't think she would have ever attempt to take her own life, because I don't think she feels bothered by anybody
No.
affecting her in any way, shape or form. Emotionally, she can't be hit. She has a steel armor. I believe. I don't think anything phases her. In fact, she has one goal and one mission, to make it to the very top. And that is her only focus. And he's slowly realizing that she is not what she made out to be in the very beginning of their relationship. Love bombing is probably the biggest thing that she did with him to get him to
Yeah.
where he is.
Yeah.
And it's starting to unravel now.
And now he's at a point where he
He's
can't look back. He can't absorb the reality. He's got 2 children. He's living in a different country. His country has pretty much disowned him. And he has to play this part. But as we can see, he's not playing it that well.
Yeah,
What do you
that
think,
Harry's
Paula?
face is like the picture. If you want the definition of regret and pissed off regret, that's it. That is that, because and Meghan Markle is like, I don't care what you do, because Harry's sitting there. I can't believe I gave up the entire royal family, meeting with ministers, prime minister, presidents, and other royalty, representing my country abroad on behalf of the Queen, for sitting with Jane Pauley, because that's the only one that they could get for an 8-minute interview, and
Yeah, I
being
think
there to Rachel Meghan Markle, an unemployed, D-list, untalented mattress actress, because the acting that we're about to see, guys.
Oh,
yeah,
come on, crack on,
I just
Paula. I've
think
got to see
go
it.
on, go on.
Go on. Hit me with the rhythm stick.
What
I
did you
haven't heard
say,
that
Tina?
in years. I can't remember. What?
Hit me with the rhythm stick.
Yeah,
Can I just say,
you were building up then, Paula, to say something. We were waiting. We're all in suspense.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Listen to her.
Hand in just the way I knew that you would be looking after each other.
Where is she getting that from? How can, and I gotta ask you this, guys, I gotta ask you this very straightforward. How could Jane Pauley say that with a straight face, having them in front of her with Harry's aggressive body language? Because Harry's beyond being despondent. Harry's body language is aggressive. He's not looking at that skank. He's like with a moving wig. He's he's done with her, and she's telling, "Oh, I knew you'd be there for each other." How I at this point in time, Harry, I do believe, you know what? I feel sorry for him, but sometimes I don't. But I mean, how can Jane Pauley say that? I mean, guys, listen to what she says.
No,
If I went places, but the connection that you have with people is they know you had suffered too personally. Contemplating killing yourself is what suicidal ideation was. And
Did you see Harry's face? He doesn't even look at her. He doesn't even extend his hand to comfort her. Like nothing.
Do you know what though? I feel like that Jane Pauley and the fact she's sort of doing this like added glitter of like, look at the way you're comforting each other. I think she's trying to fill a void in that everyone can see, and she's just trying to distract from the reality of this broken down two in front of them, trying to project something that it's not.
It's just a brutal. I mean, how can I would have said something, Harry, hold her hand, buddy. Stuff. Why are you letting her? It would just like, look at her face. such bad.
I'm dancing around this because I can
No, you haven't been dancing around. This was whole plan,
see
bitch.
you're uncomfortable with my even going.
Oh, can you see her uncomfortable? Look at her smirking.
He has no emotion whatsoever. He's completely
This is
he
brutal.
is a shadow of his former self. I have to say this. He
Brutal.
doesn't look happy at all. I am starting to worry slightly about Prince Harry and his mental health, because this isn't the Harry that I've seen before. His eyes are gone.
And do you know what? People say that. Sorry, Vic, I do jump in.
No, go on, you go for it, because I'm just witter
people
on.
say that he was acting before when he's in the royal family, that Harry wasn't happy, right? And he was acting. Why can't he act it now? Why can't he pull that out the bag now? If he was acting when we naturally see him dropping the mic with his gran, smiling, running up the racetrack with his brother, laughing, why can't he pull that out the bag now?
He looks broken.
He looks miserable, listen. And why would he be happy? How
can I just say, he's the onion and she's the carrot? Yeah. That's it.
They could get a Christmas brand deal with Audi, couldn't they?
No, but the terrible thing about this is, like, I even said today on my video, is this a cry for help, a subconscious cry for help? Because the body language of this man, he can't even, and I can tell you, he's sitting there because he feels he has to. Literally, guys, this man is a hostage of his own making, because he put himself in that position because he didn't listen to what people said. Get to know the skank.
Do you know what, though? And we speak upon it, though. Can you imagine what it's like? Because regardless of Charles or whatever, that's still his son. And William, that's still his brother. As much as they're angry, can you imagine looking at your brother, your son, and seeing the half of the man that he is today? And I know it's all brought on himself, and he's signed away, and he's, you know, they remind me of Elsa and Anna, these two, William and Harry. And it's just like, yeah, I'm in love.
Let it go. Let it go.
That song where, you know, she meets him. It's like, we're going to finish each other's sentences, and that gaslighting that he sings that song with her. And he's been like, you know, it's all been shits and giggles when he's been earning all the money. And Meghan's been like, you're amazing, the love bombing. But now it's like wake up time, and look at the carnage behind him. But can you imagine being his family in the conflict? We feel anger. And like you said, Paula, some days you feel bad for him. Some days you're angry. I'm the same. I'm conflicted every day. Can you imagine that being your child? Can you imagine that being your brother and seeing him watching him in this state, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable, guys. But let's let this guy, idiot.
There, do you?
I understand why you are, though. I wasn't expecting it, but
yes, you were. She's such a terrible actress. This is why the interview tanked, because she's such a bad actress.
I understand why you are, because there is a through.
Now, if you don't know that this is a wig, this is a clip-on wig. You can see the space between the forehead, because the forehead is receding more and more and more and more. And then there's a huge space between the skull and the thing. That's a clip-on
line, I think. And when you've been through any level of pain or trauma, I believe part of our healing.
And she's dragging the words because she wants maximum camera exposure. You know what I mean?
I like to elongate my words
for
dramatic effect.
No, why she was pissed, because there weren't enough close-ups of her. Instead, they pulled back to show. And look at hair. Hair is not even wearing socks.
Oh, he's so great. He's so
Harry looks like
He's
my
he's not wearing socks.
He looks like my husband when I take him to the DIY store and I'm showing him new paint colours. Like, she's speaking about this so horrendous feeling, a moment, and you're just staring off into the abyss. He
looks very detached from that situation, as if he doesn't really want to be there. He doesn't want to be part of the conversation.
Yeah. And we know why, because he knows it's another loaded bomb towards his family.
And not only that, but this man, if there's anybody at risk here of self-exiting himself, that's Harry. because this is not a healthy environment. And we know he does drugs because he admits to it. He's in a very depressive state. I don't care which way you slice it. This man is in a depressive state. Anybody can see it. I mean, how can Jane Pauley sit there and pretend that they're a happy couple? I mean, I'm in Nicaragua, and even I can see that. I mean, you guys are in England. I mean,
because they're playing the game, though, isn't it? And it's like those Hampton pictures come out of the Hamptons, and you see people smiling at her in the literal few snaps we got. Bear in mind, there was loads of people at that event. They're just playing the game. They're playing the game. They're smiling at them with a fake smile. It's just as much as her fake smile back at them. They all go home and they all think the way we're thinking.
Exactly.
How can you not, as a human being, at this point?
Yeah, and this woman is insane. This woman right now, because they're talking about her. Let's not forget what Jane Pauley said at the beginning, what this was about. It was the grief of the couples. If it was about the couple's griefs, and they're losing their children, why are we talking about Rachel, Meghan Markle, and imaginary children that are being, in my very humble opinion, abused by being isolated? But look at her face. But Harry, guys, look at her. She has a thing. He doesn't even. Do you guys remember he used to play with his ring finger?
Mm-hmm.
That's gone.
Yeah.
And look at, he's just sitting there, guys. He sees space.
Journey, certainly part of mine.
Look, he looks down. He's not even, because let's not forget that she blamed him in Oprah, right? That nobody helped her. That's basically a swipe at Harry.
Is being able to be really open about it. And I haven't really scraped the surface on my experience.
Here we go. She's barely scraped the surface. From what? This woman, guys, was a year, not even, in the royal family after she married, right? She spent almost 7 months abroad, traveling all over the world, while she didn't have a passport, bullying everybody. Is she gonna be in the 80 years old still talking about what she went through in the royal family? Is this what we're here, guys? What do you guys think?
And that's why the interview's just foul again, isn't it? Because it's the same old objective of social media. It's the same old, poor me. And like I said, the saddest thing is people are affected by this. And we've got this one who don't care about the mental health impact of everybody else. And at this point, I would actually say people in the real world that have been hooked on this because they fed people this. I have people in my comments sort of saying about how they've not slept because they're that enraged by it, People who feel that injustice of these two parading around on a stage. And again, we got another few victims that they will carry around in front of them as shields so people don't speak on it in this way. And it's just, they have affected everyone else's mental health. How do we know Catherine's not gone there?
Hello?
William,
And do you know what I think this is as well? Is when she says scraping the surface, she's implying she has more information to come, and this is all a build up to her penning her memoir that is coming out soon. And she's going to go into great depth and detail as to how she felt and how she was treated within the royal family. So it is going to be another tell-all book.
Yeah.
And it's going to probably be a lot more sensational than we first thought. Whether it's lies or not, we can decipher that for ourselves. But this is kind of a build up to that, I think. Getting people on board with her story and her narrative of being the victim within the royal family. This is definitely a lead up to that. Oh,
yeah.
Paula,
The
host is gone.
You know what though, Vic? I absolutely agree with every part of that, because you know what, this is your moment. If you care about these people, this is your moment to really bring into your connection. There's no bigger stage right now than bringing out
sorry, my internet went. Sorry.
Then bringing out this new campaign This is your moment to say your bit, but no, you'll save that,
Yes.
won't you, Megan? You're going to
Yes.
save that, because what
Yes.
this is using people to sit alongside you as you throw your grenade at the royal family. Again,
Yes.
using the
Yes.
people and affecting their mental health, because we can all see it. And do you know what? This is like Meghan Markle, in a way. I do the aftermath, and she's shone a biggest light you could ever do on how a narcissist can make you feel, because I feel like the effects have gone to people's homes as they've watched on as she continues, no matter what. And it's the biggest awareness to how someone will treat, how someone will carry on.
Oh, Paula, you're on
Sorry,
two
let me
now.
delete here.
Can you
She's
hear
in a
me?
bunker somewhere, secret location. Tina's right. Tell me.
I
I
know,
think
look at
she
I'll tell
is
you guys
in.
later. I'll tell you guys later. I'll tell you guys later. Let me see if how can I get rid of here this
I want
one.
a background like that.
You can
It's
do that. But no. Let me show you. I don't know how to get here. I got it. So let me show you guys. Let me show you, because it's very important that we're sorry about that. It's just that the internet went for a bit. I'm just moving.
Tina's got a swanky home now. Oh,
Sorry about that, guys. But internet glitches. But what were you guys saying? Sorry, I missed it.
End his house, yeah. I actually thought it was End his house when I first ever done a live. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's minted.
he's got a lovely piano. He plays
Then I
the
was like, what
piano.
if someone comes through the front door?
But you know what I thought when she said that, guys? You know what she said? I barely scraped the barrel. You know what to me it means? I can make more shit up.
That's what we were talking about. She's setting the stage for the memoir that's coming out. It's a build up
It's
to
a
that.
plug. It's a plug.
Yeah, and it's trickling little drops of gold that go, oh, what does she mean by that? To encourage people to buy her book, and it's a slow process, and I think she'll do more interviews like this, dropping little nuggets where we are left wanting to know more, or some
But nobody
people
believes her
are
because
left wanting to know
her.
more
Nobody
about
believes
what
her,
she
Victoria.
means. Pardon?
But nobody believes her, Victoria, because
No, but some people do, though, Paula. We don't. Our community don't, but some people do believe her. That's the
You know what?
problem.
Yeah, it is scary.
let's listen to her here. Wait 1 second.
But I do think that I would never want someone else to feel that way. And I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans. And I would never want someone else.
She's trying to emulate Julia Roberts, by the way. She had buccal fat removed. You know how they do that, right? If you look at her, she's
Vocal fat.
buccal
Oh, I
fat.
thought it said vocal fat.
Right, guys, I've got to dip out for a bit. Okay, I'll be back. My daughter's
Yeah.
Go play your piano, Tina. Play some tunes.
But she's had buccal fat removed, because then you see that, because she had a very round face. This is all new. She has been tucked and pulled
To not be believed. So if me voicing
They changed Polly's face.
what I have overcome will save someone,
Why is she this is insane, guys.
or asks or encourage someone in their life to really genuinely check in on them and not assume that the appearance is good, so everything's okay, then that's worth it. I'll take a hit for that.
Okay. What is she taking a hit for? What is she taking a hit? And now, why is and you know that? If it's when I want to do that, and why is she vocal frying her ass and singing at the very end, right? Why do you make all of this?
I really think it's like like when you're stuck in a loop of no growth. It's almost like they haven't moved in time, because she sounds just like she did in the Oprah interview. She's learned absolutely nothing from the feedback she got from that. Nothing. And she doesn't want to grow as a human being. And that is another sign of narcissism, another sign of sociopathy. I really do believe that she is under both, in my opinion, because it sounds exactly the same as it did before, don't you think?
Well, the thing is, though, that she's trying to be relatable and she's vocal frying her ass everywhere. She's vocal frying, like vocal. Do you remember? Well, you probably don't know who she is. This is Elizabeth Holmes. She wanted to sound like like Steve Jobs. So she was talk like that, it's like all chill. And she's really slurring her words because she wants to be able, Victoria, and it's like that, so we can do that. And I'll take the hit for you. This is a complete cycle. I don't understand what, people say she has mental health issues. I just think she's mental.
She's just not self-aware at all, because I think the victimizing that she does internally, and she has this terrible struggle in life in comparison. And I know we shouldn't compare our own problems with others, but if you're looking at the bigger picture, this woman really doesn't have any problems. In fact, she creates her own problems, and that is where it's almost like the drama is something that she lives and thrives off, because she's created her world and she can quite easily mend it if she wanted to, but she chooses not to. Why? Because this is going to be great for her story and to make money and to get to the place that she wants to be. And it's all about climbing to the top. But she won't be happy when she gets to the top. That is the thing. People
But she
think they
was
will be.
Yeah, she was at the top. She went from when they left the royal family. Before they left the royal family, everybody wanted to interview them. Oprah flew to the United Kingdom. They gave her 90 minutes. Oprah Winfrey gave her 90 minutes, and now that she can barely get 8 minutes with Jane Pauley on a CBS Sunday morning show. She was at the top, and she shot it all away.
Yes, but then to them, they are bigger than what they actually are. I think ego-wise, they believe that they have a bigger status than what they do, because they think that their names carry more weight than anything else, when really in reality you have to earn respect and likability to get somewhere, rather than just on the back of a name and who you were. Or she's married to a prince. That is the only reason why she is in this situation. She wouldn't be where she is right now. So yeah, it's a difficult for her. She thinks she alone with the name will get her to where she needs to be.
You mean with the title? Her name is not going to
her
get
title. Yeah.
But this is another thing that I want people to understand. I talked about all of this on my video. Please go watch my video today because it was actually kick-ass. I showed a very personal picture of mine when my ex-husband used to beat the crap out of me. I got 14 stitches on my head here, and you can see that picture on that video. There is absolutely no way, I'm talking about it now, that you're going to see me smirk or even smile a little bit, because I do not remember those times with fondness. When you are at the hospital and you have your skull cracked, or your leg is broken, or your ribs are broken, there's absolutely no fucking way in my life I'm going to look at those pictures and, oh my God, I'm going to take the hit if that's what it takes to get somebody. I can't even. You can look at it in the video. I mean, I talked about all of this, Victoria, because you know that, right? You don't look at abuse or anything dark in your life and you think, oh my God, I'm in his life. And we're talking suicide here. And this idiot is smirking and giving vocal fry.
Yeah, but she just has no, she's obviously not experienced that. It's just words. Because talking about being suicidal as well is such a vulnerable thing, and it's a very emotional thing to relive. And as far as I can see, there isn't really any emotion behind the story. A story of something that you've really gone through and found really tough. It should be quite a difficult thing to talk about. And actually, would you even want to talk about it on a TV show like this? Because you are opening yourself up to a very vulnerable side of you that can be attacked or it could be misconstrued. I just find it difficult that there is not much in the way of detail as well when she speaks about her experiences. It's like it's
Or
just a
the
couple of
details
sentences.
change. Or is worse, Victoria, the details change. You know that
Yes.
miscarriage that she said she had? The way she described it in that paid op-ed that she wrote for the New York Post or something like that is completely different than how it was described by Harry on Spare and by that other scan called Abigail Spencer, her friend, who said, "Oh, Meghan was outside and I saw her and she just fell to the ground when she." Wait a minute. Weren't you alone on your own, Meghan, singing a lullaby to one child while you dropped to your knees on the other? And then we have Harry giving a different story, and then you have this other guy giving this other woman giving a different story, and then you wrote an entire. Everything changes because she's such a bad liar. She's such a bad liar. And you know what makes me so livid about all of this? That no fucking buddy calls her out on the press. Nobody's calling her out on the press. Shame on the press. And you know, and I do you remember when we did that live and this I can't remember who he was. He said, I think Steeples. He said that the press don't do it because they don't have the budget. They have the budget. They just don't care to do it because they don't want to expose this idiot. Because all they have to do is what we do. Use her own things that they put out in the public domain and compare, and you see the discrepancy.
I think as well, the media don't do it for different reasons. It's not just about her as a person, it impacts the royal family in some way, shape, or form. So they are trying to protect her, even though they might not want to, because anything that comes out of the woodwork about Meghan and also assassinating her character would reflect poorly on them as well, because of the damage that's already happened. They're going to create more of a fire around this situation. And I think that there's been a probably a conversation between the media and the royal family to try and contain this as much as possible, give them less time and airtime so that the fire can be put out in bursts, because she's ready to speak. She wants to continue to
She hasn't
talk.
shut up, Victoria.
I
This
know.
woman has not shut up. I mean,
Yes.
and you know what? I'm going to show you something, guys. We're going to go back to this because we're going to watch this, but I'm going to show you something this, and I'm going to show you this. This is Oprah Winfrey. I kid you not. Oprah Daily, she posted, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are sitting down for a rare interview for together. They can't even do proper. They don't even bother to check, grammar for a rare interview together to talk about the perils of social media, online bullies, and how they're going to have families impacted by it. They don't even talk about Meghan Markle. If you listen to what they're describing here, that they're going to sit down for a rare interview. First of all, it's not rare. How many interviews have they given? Number two, to talk about the perils of social media, online bullies, and how they're hoping to have families impacted by online harm. Then where is that? We've been talking about Meghan the whole time. The whole thing has been about Rachel Meghan Markle, about how she overcome, about how she barely scratched the barrel because she has more lies to make up. I mean, in rare interview, Victoria, this woman has not shut up. Before she left the royal family, Shalon Lester said that before, because Shalon Lester was the editor of Star magazine, right? One of the editors in chief. And she said that prior, when they used to ask her if the stories that they would put out in the magazines about the royal family, whether they had like credible sources. And she said, no, not really, because we didn't have any credible sources. But when Meghan came on the scene, bam, 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 it was like leaky ship. And they all came from Meghan Markle.
Yes, yes, but I do think this timing is quite convenient for her, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of talk about her book, and I do believe it's going to be out quite soon, and I think this is a build up to that. You know, it's drumming up the appeal for Meghan, and you know, this is what a lot of shows do as well. Even like, you know, you'll see things like the X Factor. They do a sob story, a victim story to build an audience for that person. And I think that's her game plan. Is if someone can feel sorry for her, then they're going to buy her book. And that's her angle at the moment. She's got nothing else really to um to feel for apart from this. Oh,
I'm just showing your channel, guys. Go
yeah.
show it. Well, go check out Victoria's channel. You know, she still has to name it properly. You know,
I
but
do. I do.
yeah,
Thank you, Paula. That was
of course, sweetie. You know that I'll do that. But the thing is, we're gonna share. We're gonna continue the thing. The thing is, though, that I understand what you're saying. I really do. But this woman, remember what Oprah Winfrey just described this was about. It wasn't about Meghan Markle, about what she overcame, about how she barely scratched the barrel, about her two children. This is about the perils of social media, online bullies, of which Meghan Markle is one, because her Sussex squad is terrible, and how they're hoping to help families impacted by online harm. Meghan Markle causes harm to people. And
yes. Yeah.
and I'm gonna point something out. I don't know if you know this. Hello, Ginger, gracias. Oh, the hell is your insanity begins that. Let me see. Let me show you something, guys. I wanted to show you this. What I forgot what I was gonna show you. You know what? Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna show you. But what was that? What were we talking about before this?
The social media online presence.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Here. This is, guys, for many of you, because I posted it on this is actually officially in court. This is official judicial record, which is Jason Knuff saying the letter, he submitted the letter. This was in October 2018. So keep in mind, this is October 2018, and he's talking that this behavior had been happening for a year when Meghan Markle was still Harry's girlfriend, because he said that this behavior had been happening for 1 year. Okay, and it's been happening for 1 year, guys. Then look what he says here. I am very concerned that the Duchess was able to bully two PAs out of the household. He doesn't say, you know, she wasn't satisfied with her performance. He didn't say that. He says that she was able to bully. And he's not a British guy. He's a gay American male, which makes it really hard for her. He didn't say, I'm concerned that the Duchess is not happy with the performance of these professionals. No. I am very concerned that the Duchess was able to bully two PAs out of the household in the past year. The treatment of X was totally unacceptable. The Duchess seems intent on always having someone in her sights. She is bullying Y, well, the name of the person is redacted, and seeking to undermine her confidence. We have had report after report from people who have witnessed unacceptable behavior towards this person. Samantha Carruthers, I think that says, the head of HR, agreed with me on all counts that the situation was very serious. I remain concerned that nothing will be done. I questioned if the household policy on bullying and harassment applies to principals. We know who the bully is. This is on official court records. I can send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. I mean,
this is in court. This is in court. And the royal family knew about this for about a year, and they did nothing. They did nothing.
Is there more to this though? I feel like that it's there's something more to it.
No, the royal family knew that this was happening. They were caught
Yeah.
with their pants down because the people went to Valentine Law because people were fed up that their reputations, their mental health, their emotional well-being, their careers were going to be trashed because they know that the royal family protects their own. And I even shamed Prince William. Oh, Prince William gave them a hug and he split the households. He left these people at their mercy. That was not a correct response. And I criticized Prince William about that. The correct response was sit this skank down. Either you shape up or we shape out, and we're going to leak everything. That study or that investigation that the royal family refused to leak, because let's not forget that Meghan Markle wasn't the only one bullying the staff. Harry was too.
Mm. Mm. I find it quite fascinating that she fell into that role very quickly of being a spoiled brat within the household, because you would have thought it would take a lot of time to get used to being served and waited on, and she was really just quite easily slipped into it without any kind of thought. I would find that quite awkward coming from a normal humble background and to being served on and waited on, and then to be rude to them. It's exceptional, really. And that is another key example of the fact that she is a narcissist, because she was very quick to fall into that role with ease and without any she didn't feel awkward about it in any way, shape or form, because she was quite happy to belittle and undermine the staff.
Hello, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hello, my darlings.
How are you?
Oh, it could be better today, but you know what? This will be a nice distraction. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you can join us. We were looking at this and we were saying that Meghan Markle, this is one of the things, Cynthia, I don't know if you agree with me because you're a therapist, right? And then this kind of behavior doesn't happen overnight.
No.
This is some behavior that's been going on for quite some time and has gone on for a long period of time without any checks or any consequences. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. We've seen this history with Meghan. I mean, let's be honest. She was a spoiled child. She was a spoiled young adult. She was a spoiled in her marriage with her husband, getting her show and getting her this and getting that. She's been this way a long time. It's never gone checked. She's never been reined in. I think the royal family was the first time she heard those words, no. And she was like, I don't like that word. And they were like, no, you can't do this. You can't do that. It was the first time in her life that she was checked and pulled back. And her response was just simply, no, I'm not doing this. So guess what? We're out.
That's disgusting. I mean, we've been playing this, but she's talking about, I don't know if you've been, she's talking about how she barely scraped the barrel. To me, it sounds like I can make up more lies. And I think that thread only goes to Harry because the body language, Cynthia. Oh my God, what do you think of the body language? I'm gonna put it back a little bit so you can see the body language here. Wait, when that skank alert. Let me see. Here we go.
Connects you to these families, and I see you touch your husband's hand in just the way I knew that you would be looking after each other.
If I went, you notice they don't look at each other.
He is so disengaged throughout this entire interview. It's like he's sitting there going, she's dragged me out for the dog and pony show. I'm a prince of England and I have to sit here with some D-level. The lady doing the interview is bottom of the barrel. Her time has passed. She needs to retire. Like CBS morning show is like bottom of the barrel. Okay, no offense to anybody, CBS, whatever, y'all are hard workers, but it's bottom of the barrel Sunday morning breakfast show. And he's sitting there like, I'm a prince of England and here I am. And he's staring off, bored, uninterested, sitting there just going like, whatever, Megsy, you're going to say what you want to say. La, 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 la.
I think you couldn't put it any better than that, to be honest, Cynthia. I think that's right. He does look disengaged and he does look like he's been dragged out for the day and doesn't want to be there.
And you look at Meghan and she's sitting there smug with the smug little that she does. And of course she's holding his knee. When I look at this, and he's even sitting away, like he's done the
Go
angles,
back. Absolutely.
pull back from her, and she's actually kind of leaning into him, I think, because it's like, number one, oh god, I have to look like I'm with this guy, and number two, I take that hand on his knee as a, okay, you don't talk anymore now, you're done, you got to talk. And the entire time he talked, she was like flicking the hair, nostrils flaring, eyes batting a million miles an hour with just that, you know what I mean? She does that thing, and she was pissed that he opened his mouth. So now it's like, okay. And
this is about me.
Yep, this is about me. And I'm going to perform now for the camera. Okay, because I'm an actress. So I'm going to perform. But he just looks so like, I turn my
Done. This
done.
is, I mean, this is the death of, I mean, and you know what? In a way, I'm happy that he's been so miserable because of what he's put his family through.
Oh.
I used to feel sorry for this asshole, not anymore. Because what he's put his, and what he continues, because he also said in that interview with ITV that he was not going to give up, that he was going to continue the fight. The fight what?
Wait, what?
But do you not feel like he has been completely manipulated and brainwashed by this woman? And this is where it sometimes that I do feel he's gone through a hell of a lot of different emotions and got to a point now where he's flat. He almost looks like he's numb now. And he doesn't know what to feel because he's gone and really changed his whole life for this woman. And he's starting to realize the cracks are here. She's not who I thought she was. And like you said, it is a control mechanism holding his leg. You can't talk now. She's actually shutting his voice off. And the more she does it, the less of a person he's becoming. And you can see that he's withdrawing from normal life. He's a shadow of his former self. I really do believe that. And it's very hard to come back and rebuild your confidence when you've been beaten down so much. And he looks like he's been beaten down so much.
And I think, like, sorry, Victoria, go ahead.
No, carry on. No,
I'm just going to say something. I'm going to let you guys, but you know what I think it is? He's pissed off that his family was right. This is his
maybe
family that they were right.
It's a complicated emotions. He's probably feeling a hell of a lot of different things, and that could be definitely one of them.
I think.
Go for it, Cynthia. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, girl. I think he has moments, and I don't feel sorry for him. I refuse to, but I think he has moments where he's like, I gave up my family, the only life I've ever known. I moved to another part of the world. I think he's realizing that her fame was not what she said it was, because here we are 4.5, 5 years later, they're off everybody's list at this point. The Hamptons was a disaster. And he's sitting there, and it's this, I'm a Prince of England, and here I am sitting on a D-list cable morning show being interviewed. And then, of course, the question of her unaliving thoughts that she had during the pregnancy. And that's probably something that he's definitely tuning out. He doesn't want to think or hear about it, because we know he's not over his mother. He's not over a lot of things. But then he's sitting there, dog and pony, next to her. I call it a dog and pony show. It's a term we used in the military when you had to like put on your best and look pretty for the press and the, and the civilians and the general. And he's sitting there and he's like, now I'm being paraded out to do this. And it can't even be about this parent support network that they're supposed to be helping, because now here I am sitting here and my wife is reminding everybody of her hard times in the royal family. And, oh, her knee, hands on my knee. Okay, don't talk, Harry. You know what that means? Like, I turned my Xbox off for this today.
Cynthia.
He looks like he's almost recoiling from her. It's like, don't touch me. He feels invaded by this woman.
There's been a couple, have you guys noticed? There's been a couple of times in that, I would say the last 6 months that they've been together. I would say that the Pat Tillman Award, was a big one when she went to grab his hand and he recoiled his hand back. Like he did not want her touching him. He did not want
Well, if the maid's story is anything to go by, if she is, if yes, and this is the thing, if that level of abuse is going on with inside the home, then I don't blame him for recoiling. In fact, I would think that's you know nothing in comparison to what he's feeling. So I do believe, Cynthia, there is a massive deterioration in their relationship, and it's very obvious on his part. He is not feeling the same way he was feeling in the beginning when he was, you know, love bombed by this woman and infatuated with her. And I think that is progressively dimming down. And he, you know, he doesn't look happy. Let's be honest. He looks miserable.
And they're a commercial failure. Like they have no income coming in. Rumor has it, strong rumor, I don't know if you guys talked about this yet, about Netflix not going to be releasing the cooking show, not going to release the polo.
They postpone it. They postpone it just like Lemonada for next year. I talked about it with Enti. They postpone it indefinitely, but they're hoping that by next year it's
well, they can not renew the contract. Like their contract with Netflix is up in 2025. So my theory is, and the theory of many is, just simply put, like, we're not going to put it out there because it'll be garbage and it doesn't make our network look good. And then, we don't renew their contract. Neat. We don't have to pay them any more money. We don't have to put out any more of their crap, and we can be done with them. So they're a commercial failure. At some point, he's got to, I mean, he's not a bright guy and he's not used to paying his own bills, but at some point you have to realize we're not working. We're a commercial disaster. Our philanthropy, charitable work is nothing's coming of it. Well, I have some money coming, you know, when I turn 40, that's good. But, you know, I don't know that that's going to keep paying the bills. And here I am now sitting with her on this show. Great.
Yeah, for 8 minutes, you know, like,
yeah,
let's watch it. Let's watch this. This is
what suicidal ideation was. And I'm dancing around this because I can see you're uncomfortable with my even going there. Do you?
I understand why you are, though. I wasn't expecting it, but I understand why you are, because there is a through line, I think. And when you've been through any level of pain or trauma, I believe part of our healing journey, certainly part of mine, is being able to be really open about it. And I haven't really scraped the surface on my experience, but I do think that.
And she swallows hard, and this time she swallows saliva only.
Oh, there she is.
Sorry, my internet's playing up. I do apologise.
No worries.
What just happened? I missed it.
I may have to run off and on the camera every now and then because
no, she just swallows saliva. Thankfully, you know, they were talking that she just took a big gulp of something there, but thankfully it was just saliva. But you know, let's
better than this. So
Royal Daily T's watching, guys. Hello.
I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans, and I would never want someone else to not be believed. So if me voicing what I have,
she's gripping Harry's knee. Don't talk.
Will save someone, or asks or encourage someone in their life to really genuinely check in on them, and not assume that the appearance is good, so everything's okay, then that's worth it. I'll take a hit for that.
And the two of you, this is it's a modest beginning, you know.
Do you know though, with me, right, I have this thing where I do smile at everything, even if it's inappropriate. I don't know why, I just do it. It's a weird thing I do, but I try to make light heart of everything, and I'm not excusing that, but I have this problem too, where I laugh.
No, but this is another next level, because she's supposed to be remembering, you know, like you and I have had conversations, Victoria, and I don't see you smiling when you're recounting certain things, you know.
No, that's true. Yeah. No, you're right.
She's recounting a moment in life when she wanted to kill herself and the unborn child.
Yeah.
You know that Princess Diana, when she talked about it, she didn't smirk. She
No.
was talking and she was like, you can see the pain in her face. Princess Diana never smirked when she talked about that incident.
Yeah, I think if you're genuinely, yeah, you do when you're speaking about something very very deep and dark, you don't smirk and smile. Well, sometimes I am psychotic, trust me. I am not
No,
quite there
but you know what
sometimes.
I mean? Princess Diana smirked when she talked about that situation. She was like, yeah, that wasn't a good time for me. She goes, like, and she goes on and it's like, but this is a woman. Look at this woman sitting in the middle of another lady who's lost her child. Look at Harry's face. She's the only one smirking.
Yeah.
I think he's just so lost.
She doesn't have appropriate social cues, and part of it is, I think, she just wants to
She's a
look so
sociopath.
perfect.
She's a psycho.
So perfect, and so like, here I am. Look at me. I know where the cameras are. Like, it's just, and it comes across as so insincere, so insincere. Like it, and you would think by now that she would have had somebody say to her, Meghan, let's coach you a little bit.
She needs someone to guide her.
To say,
A lot of these celebrities do have people that can spin their webs for them, and she's just
won't listen to anybody, Victoria. You don't get it. She is Rachel Zane, the D-list mattress actress. The paralegal. She played paralegal on a. I mean, these are the. To me, what is disgusting.
Mary Bradley's put Meghan chewing a brick.
You know what is the most disgusting?
You guys are on fire in the chat. They're on fire, I'm telling you. Sorry.
Like this skank was near the Queen. That is, and that she belittled the Queen. Remember how she would talk about, she's your grandma. Oh, I have to curtsy. I didn't know how to curtsy. Yes, you did. You took a 2-month course in Pasadena in September and October 2016, when you weren't even sure when you just started seeing Harry or screwing him, and rightly so, you knew that you got him after that thing. But in 2016, in September and October, she attended the Pasadena school because the guy gave that interview. So it's completely inappropriate. And in my video that I did earlier, guys, you can see the picture I posted of me when I was beaten by my ex-husband. I don't look at that picture, even now when I'm talking about it. This is not something that brings me fondness in any fucking shape or form.
I think she smirks her whole way through it. And it just, even if it was a defense mechanism, at some point, it's really funny, like you just did, Victoria. Like, a lot of people use humor or smiling, or they can sometimes have, maybe they're not the most appropriate social things they're doing. Most people will admit that at some point. Most people will say, oh my gosh, bear with me. I sort of, like, this is my defense mechanism.
Yeah. They're socially awkward sometimes, and it could be nerves.
Are you kidding? Here in their wake, sometimes.
No, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, Paula. I'm not defending her. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it could be.
Nobody comes after Victoria. We like to discuss things here. Nobody comes after her because it's true. Sometimes I remember when we were laughing here during the war here. People are like shooting and we're like, oh my God, we're just lucky it wasn't us. It's like, and people are like making fun of, but we're talking about a woman who sits down and who's socially consciously aware of look at Harry, who's an idiot, and he knows better.
Do you think, too, what I notice with people who do that? So I laugh inappropriately sometimes when I shouldn't. Like,
I'm going to give you a really good example in a minute. Go on, carry on.
Okay.
Carry on.
And so I actually was in a meeting one time. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a perfect employee. I'm a nightmare of an employee, actually. And I was in years ago in a meeting with a manager and stuff like that. And I was laughing my ass off all the way through it. And the manager was like, do you know how serious this is? And I'm like, oh, I 100% know how serious this is, which is why I'm laughing so hard, and I shouldn't be, and I know better. But what I learned to do in time was to catch myself and go, no, you're not letting that work right now. You can laugh in the car instead of cry, but you're going to, like, put it together. You're gonna
Well,
put.
I can top this, Cynthia,
Okay,
because
go for it.
this is awful. So I go to my friend's funeral. My friend, he's an older gentleman, a really good friend of mine, of the family, yeah. But we had an Irish funeral, and me and my mum are sitting next to each other, right? And she looks at me. So the is it the vicar or the priest for the Irish? I can't remember now. So he starts singing. He does all this weird chanting, right? But this to me is funny. But I know she finds it funny, my mum as well. So she's looked at me and I thought, don't you look at me, woman, because you're going to start me laughing. And I looked at her and it was hard. It was the hardest laugh I've had to contain within a silent church.
Right.
But we both wanted to laugh and I thought, you're out of order, mother. Don't look at me again, because this woman was she's just trying to make me laugh in a funeral. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah,
Let's
that
do a
was
Meghan
really
Markle.
inappropriate.
Let's do a Meghan Markle and try to top each other and be in the limelight. I'll top you that. When I found that I had lupus, it's like, I remember when I walked in, the first thing, because the doctor who found my lupus is a friend of mine. And she goes and sits down and she goes, sit down, and you don't have cancer. You only have lupus. And I mean, I started laughing. Oh my God, the fuck, I'm so
I
glad
think we're all a bit sick, to be honest, Paula, by the sounds of things.
you were going to say something else, and he goes, so lupus, and it's like, but you were laughing, it's like, oh, you know what, you get more collagen in your cheeks, and we've been joking that I look like a vampire. Today I was talking with Pidina, right? I was talking with Pidina on the phone, and I'm like, oh, the sun is really killing me, and I feel like a vampire, and we started making noises of vampire, it's like, yeah, we can make fun of that, but this is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
She is.
No, I know.
She's there to represent other people. She's made it all about herself. Look at the mother. Why she was able to hold the hand of a multimillionaire at the Hamptons, but she couldn't reach out to this lady while she's talking about the death of her son. Where is the sympathy for this woman?
Was it you, Paula, or was it my contact who told me that she was actually really pissed that the families had to be there at all? She had
it was me. It was me. Yeah.
She had wanted the interview to be about herself and nobody else. And my contact told me the same thing. She's like, she was not happy about this. She was not happy about how many minutes she got. And they actually had gone to the other networks first.
Yeah.
And the other networks were like, no. Like, no.
Because she just wanted the couples to be mentioned, but it was mostly about her. And then they would just show the couples, not nobody else.
Yeah.
It is disgusting. It is disgusting. We're watching this and let's just.
It's not an army of parents yet.
No.
But what are your ambitions?
I think you have to start somewhere. I think the simple.
I got to go back here, guys. Look at the wig. You see here, this is the wig, guys. Oh my God. And she's trying to copy Catherine.
I think you have to start somewhere. I think the simplest thing that anyone watching this or anyone who's able to make change. So
look at Harry's rapid blinking.
So bored.
I'm worried about Harry, I think we need to start up some sort of campaign.
Harry.
He doesn't look right at all.
Harry.
Or anyone who's able to make change.
He's not even looking at her.
Look at it through the lens.
Is he wearing his?
What if it was my daughter? What if it was my son?
Why is she?
My son.
How can this woman be laughing? What if it was my son? While the mother is sitting right next to her. This is evil.
My daughter who comes home, who are joyful, who I love, and one day, right under my roof, our entire lives change because of something that was completely out of our control. And if you look at it through the lenses.
No, what your kids are going to do, because they're setting up their own children if they have for failure.
As a parent, there is no way to see that any other way than to try to find a solution.
Oh, this woman vocal fried her entire interview through.
Did you see the dad? The dad?
Paula, don't put me up like that. I can't look at my face like that.
Okay, I'm sitting in a hotel room. It's not. Yeah, it's like.
That's not cool, Paula. I don't want to see that chin in the mirror, let alone on screen. Okay, this
but
far back as we can get it.
Right? Did you see that? Did you see the dad of the mom sitting next to her? Like, he's staring at the floor, looking mortified that he had to talk about this. He does not, like, he looks like a mourning dad. Like, he looks like a dad who's definitely not over what happened with their child. He is definitely not, like, he looks so uncomfortable. The dad just looks so uncomfortable. You know,
And she's spoken so softly. The maid said that this woman has a pair of lungs in her, and we know that from what's his name? Jason Kanoff said that this woman is a nasty piece of work, and she screams and yells at people. And Cynthia, do you remember that Reitman's commercial she did? That the director, that the company that actually had to do it, they quit.
Yeah.
And he posted it on Facebook, guys. This is on Facebook, guys. He posted on Facebook what a nasty piece of bitch she was.
Yep. And she's sitting there trying to look all nice and warm and fuzzy and everything like that. And it's like, bleh. You are gorgeous.
Dragging her words. What's it with the vocal fry, Cynthia?
You know what happens? I've started to know it now. Like, I'm 49, and I've started to know it as I've gotten older that my vocals has changed. It's deepened for sure.
She's doing it differently. She's really doing it differently.
But she's doing it differently. She's almost doing it on purpose. Like, we don't do this on purpose. I'm definitely not doing it on purpose. I don't know if she's trying to sound more sultry, if she's trying to sound more down to earth with it. I don't know what it is.
Trying to imitate Julia Roberts. Have you heard Julia Roberts give interviews?
Yeah.
Have you?
Nah,
Let me see.
not in a long time.
One right here.
Okay.
Julia Roberts.
Have you got an interview there, Paula? We can listen to.
Pull it up because even her.
Okay, pull it up. I gotta run really. I'll be right back.
Okay, ready? Let me see if I have this one. It's on CBS. Let me see. I don't want to get. I'm going to show you.
The quickest right back, Cynthia, I've ever seen.
Well, you found it. I was like, hey, maybe I have a minute.
I told you. Let me see. I need to find her. Okay.
An aspiring actor to New York City. They're all.
Let me see. Here.
It's the truth.
This story begins with I was walking
down the street with my brother and his and passed someone that they knew, and that person was a talent agent.
Do you see it?
Even the hair, Paula.
Hair. I know. I was like,
whoa, and the snatched jawline.
Oh.
And the way she vocal fries everything, and even the mouth, the way she's doing her mouth, even the buccal fat removal now. If you look at her, the buccal fat removal is like that, and her mouth is looking like Julia Roberts.
Oh, but the hair.
Wait, let me see. Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Stuff. And then the studio went bust.
I think over the course of a weekend, I didn't have a job. And then about a week later, they said, oh, the script was sold to Disney.
Disney?
Yeah. Right?
With Gary Marshall, known for Family Fare, The Odd Couple, and Happy Days.
When I tell you guys that this woman is a bloody stalker, she is a stalker. Look at how she even has her lower face, the hair.
Cindy's saying plagiarism.
What?
Plagiarism.
No, that's a single white female movie, and I recommend you guys to go watch that.
What's that film? What's that film?
You haven't
seen
I've
not seen that. No.
Oh my God. It's about this woman who's very beautiful. She's very beautiful and everything, right? She has this very quirky style. And then she has looking for a single white female for roommate. So she puts this ad. This is an 80s movie. And she puts this ad. And then this woman replies, and she's like mousy looking and everything. And before you know it, she starts cutting her hair just like her. She starts looking after her boyfriend. She starts wearing her clothes and everything, and then things got really...
is there a thing with Meghan where she doesn't know her own identity, and she's trying to but it's a chameleon effect, maybe that she's just copying who she. Well, I'm just looking at a psychoanalysis. Oh, sorry.
She's a freaking psycho with no personality, with airs of grandeur, that, you know, she shouldn't have, because her entire life she was told that she was a princess and she was never, and that she couldn't do anything wrong. And this is the result of that, those kinds of affirmations. Because I raised my son, he's my only child, and I can tell you, I never told Henrik that. I said, you know, you have to do your best, and your best will always be good enough for me, you know, and I love you.
Oh, that's lovely, Paula.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's what we do with our kids, isn't it? We just raise
yeah, but I
them.
wasn't gonna tell Henrik he was perfect or anything like that. You know, I would say, I adore you. You're the best little boy in my life. You know,
Oh,
we have to be kind. You know, like, and I would say, you don't bully anybody. I would punish him. One day, one of his little friends in Norway came to Jonas. He came to visit, and then I see the house that we lived. I had 2 floors, and suddenly I see Jonas leaving, crying, and like I ran down and it's like, what happened? He goes, I'm not gonna go back because Henrik was really mean to me. He said that, you know, I wasn't gonna eat anything because I should go back. And like, Henry humiliated Jonas. I remember just started seeing red. I immediately went inside. I think I told this story before. And I ordered Henrik to apologize, and I didn't feed him dinner, I didn't feed him dessert, and I made him watch Jonas sit there and eat everything that he couldn't eat. You don't do that. You teach children how to behave. Meghan Markle.
well, also you don't see through rose-tinted glasses. You know who your children are. You know what people are capable of. There are layers to people, many layers. But when you're a sociopath and a narcissist, there aren't as many layers as you would like, because they don't have the capacity to feel the way me and you feel, Paula. They don't have it. There's a lack of emotional intelligence there, and she doesn't have any by the looks of things. Whereas I think Harry does. I do think he has got emotional intelligence. However dim it might be, it is there. So I do think with her, she is the fully in control of that relationship. The more I see them together, the more I believe she is the one in control.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is that I understand that, you know, but you know, a lot of people have said, "Oh, Paula, you're criticizing Mr. Markle," but it's true. It is true. As a parent, you do your child a
You
disservice.
do.
You do, because
And Catherine says you do engage and communicate. Of course you do. You teach them how to be righteous. You teach them to be morally correct in life and have a moral compass. Because you want your kids to be well-rounded, don't you? And have a good understanding of other people, and be a nice, decent human being, right?
you know, I remember this. I don't know if you guys have had, Cynthia, I don't know if you've had this happen to you. Here in Latin America, or in little kids' parties, sometimes you go, like, you hear, "Oh, I don't want, did that child come over? Was that kid invited? Nobody wants to hang around that kid because he's so nasty." But it's not the kid's fault. It's the parent who doesn't correct the child's behavior. You know, we've seen videos of Meghan Markle at that birthday party, that she was a guest, and she took away the little crown from the little girl and she put it on, and she had the birthday girl call her princess, you know. And it doesn't help. As a parent, your job is to give your, this is just my very personal opinion, is to give your child the tools to be able to be a successful member of society, to be able to integrate themselves in society. And you know, you do that through teaching them what's right from wrong, teaching them how to interact with people, how to be good to people. And you do that. You know what? If you just fucking teach him the 10 commandments, you know, like, no, you can't do that.
She was never, like, she was raised to believe that she was the be all end all in her family, even in her family structure. Like, we know, we've heard it, we've seen it from the step siblings, where they're like, yeah, she got everything, she was spoiled, she got this, she got that, my dad never said no to her. Like, I think he was probably trying to compensate the fact that she didn't have much of a mom in her life, because we know that her mom buggered off somewhere, and she just didn't have that. And everybody sort of catered to her a little bit, I think, growing up, in school, in all kinds of things. And then at some point she discovered, you know, if I use what I have here, I can really get what I want, because she did. She did.
It's disgusting. It's just disgusting. But you know what? I was thinking about that Free Harry. Yes, you know, and I and I always make jokes that he's an evil Forrest Gump, you know, British Forrest Gump. But you know, I do believe that, and I've always said it, that arrogance is the worst sin because it gets you each and every time. Harry was arrogant, entitled, and dumb. It's not a good combination. And when you have access to a huge platform, it's not a good combination. And now we're seeing Meghan Markle smiling, smirking there when Harry hates that woman.
I don't think their relationship is in a good place, but they're both stuck with each other. She needs him to continue to have any kind of a platform. She's got nothing without him. And he at this point needs her because what else has he got now?
I don't think he needs her. I don't think he needs her. I just think he's too arrogant to admit that his family told him so.
Yeah.
This is what it comes down to. He's pissed off at his own family because they told him so. What was it that Prince William, his older
wait a little
wife
while.
or brother told him?
Yeah, wait a while.
Get to know this Meghan.
Yeah, get to know her. Get her to know the family. Get her to understand how things are going to work if you two marry, because it's going to change. It's going to be different. Like you need to make sure. And of course, Harry takes that as, oh, my family hated her. Oh, my family this, my family that.
I want you guys to make of all of this because they're going to Colombia. And a friend of mine in Colombia. Guess what I'm doing, guys? Because this is going to be funny. I have my friend in Colombia asking Colombians what they think of Harry and Meghan at the visit. Out of the, she's filming it. She's interviewed about 20 or 22 so far. Nobody knew who the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who they were, or Harry or Meghan. And then she had to say, well, you know, Princess Diana, and everybody knew Princess Diana. She says, well, one of her sons. And a few people say, oh, Prince William. He goes, no, the other brother. And go, and they didn't know that they're coming. And this is in the streets, like very posh areas, very vibey areas. They didn't know that Harry and Meghan are coming. Nobody knows.
My neighbours are Colombian.
Oh, well.
So that's interesting that you're doing that. So have they got a big following in Colombia, or what's the situation?
Nobody knows who they are because Claudia, my friend, has gone and said, "Oh, did you know that Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, are coming?" Like, who are they? It's like Harry and Meghan, and then she says the name and goes. And then she says, "Do you know Princess Diana?" Everybody that she has interviewed, they all know Princess Diana, and we're talking people 26, 27 years of age. Diana has been dead that long, right? And they know who she is. So she says, well, you know, it's one of her sons that's coming. And go, oh, Príncipe Guillermo, Prince William. And it goes like, no, the other one. So, and they don't know
far removed.
It's on the news in Colombia. And I'm telling you, this is not old farts like me. This is like 25, 27. The oldest one that she interviewed is like 34. And they're high executives. They're on the streets at the malls and stuff. They don't know who they are.
That's weird, isn't it? You would have thought they would, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the media puts out for them when they're, I suppose their importance is greatly lowered when they're no longer in the royal fold, because they're not really worth talking about in certain countries, right? But didn't you say that Spain still has a different viewpoint of them? It's like every country has a different viewpoint of Meghan and Harry.
They love Harry and Meghan, and they don't like Catherine and William.
Really?
Yeah, they think that Catherine and that William is a nasty cheater, and that Catherine is a nasty bully.
Wow. That's crazy.
I kid you not. That's what they think. And every time, and they still believe that Harry and Meghan work for the royal family or members of the royal family, because the first thing they do, say the royal website. And I'm like, yeah, but then and you try to explain it, but how can you explain it? They're right.
That's mad, isn't it? And why do you think that is? because I mean you've got really good connections with Spain, haven't you, Paula? I mean you do have a Spanish channel, so you have more of kind of an insight into why
Yeah,
that's happening.
one of the main, Micah Vasco, her name is Micah Vasco. She's a huge YouTuber. She didn't know anything about everything about Harry. She had to do, actually, she does lives every day. And she did a live when she started, when I told her all of this, she didn't hear that. She didn't know about it. So she did she did a research and she was shocked. She goes, "This is not what we have here." It's like, yes, Del, we are live,
Hold on, let me find it. Where's the comment? Oh my goodness me. Someone said they don't like them in Italy either. I can't find it now. Oh, they hate them here in Italy. Marie and Florence.
Yeah.
So in Italy as well, they don't have a good rep.
Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna get going because I think we've been at it for almost 2.
That was great though, Paula. I love that you pulled up the interview. I like to read the body language. I think that was brilliant. I had fun with that.
Yeah, we have to do that, and we have live. What time do we have a live? When do we have our live?
Tomorrow. Can we do live tomorrow at 9 p.m. GMT time? Is that okay with you?
Yes. And tomorrow I have Sumi. I'm interviewing Sumi, the Dr. Sumi. She's so amazing. And we're going to do I love this lady and her cat Audi. Oh, they're amazing. So you guys are going to, and I watched my video. I did my video with NT, and I hope you guys watch my video today because they're very informative. But I have my friend on the ground in Colombia interviewing people, and it's like, nobody knows. And I'm like, are you serious? She goes, yeah. Nobody knows them.
That is crazy. I'm going to speak to my Colombian neighbors about this.
Yeah.
I need to talk to them.
But welcome. Please go subscribe to Cynthia, Chinwagon with Cynthia, Victoria VVS 1, and of course the beautiful Aftermath. We're going to be doing a live tomorrow and at Victoria's. Hopefully Cynthia can join us. I mean,
yes, that'll be grand.
A lot of
I'll send you the link.
Yes, that'll be a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah,
and yes, please support our channels. Support Andrew POV because he's demonetized. Please support him. Meghan Small, who kicks ass. We're all small community. Sean Atwood, who always sponsors us.
Oh, Paula, do you know, I love how supportive you are of everyone's, Paula. I really appreciate that. I love that. You're such a loyal person. Love it.
Thank you.
Love it. And Paula, honestly, Paula has receipts. She is the top dog of this institution. Trust me.
Also, Leticia, Royal Daily Tea, thanks for commenting today and stuff like that. But I'll see you tomorrow, guys, on the video with Sumi and then with Cynthia. Cynthia, we have to do that live that we talked about. And I just want to say something in the channel because I'm thinking of working with something with Tina, and we're thinking of doing a segment every week with a survivor of domestic violence to give them a voice or a platform so they can tell their story, and they like to help them, or if they've gone through it, they could talk about it and how to get out of it. And maybe Cynthia, you can join us because you're a therapist.
Absolutely. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that because, I have this little platform, and I know there's a lot of people. I had a hard time getting anybody to listen to me because my ex-husband was very powerful and he was trashing me on the media, and nobody wanted to give me even a second glance or anything, or hear the truth about things, because there's my truth, my ex-husband's truth, and then there's the truth, but nobody wanted to hear my side, so this
I think that's a great thing for you guys to do.
Well,
I
you
really
too.
do.
That'd be fun.
I'd love to. I'd love to join you guys.
So I would like to support these ladies, and I want these ladies to know that there's always a way out, because these abusive men, what they do, they always do that. For me in my situation, because we were very fortunate, people would shame me when I would go to the police with broken ribs or something. Say, why are you here? You're on this social status. Aren't you embarrassed to be here? This is white trash thing. People who are, and I'm like, so
he can go fuck himself.
Yes, exactly. And then, but it's interesting to have people feel that they're hurt. And my ex was very good at making you feel that there was no way out, and you felt stuck because you didn't know what was going to be after. And they always paint the picture that things are so bad. If you leave, that things are going to be bad. the mother fudger did follow through. For 10 years, he ruined my reputation, but I fought back. You know why? Because I knew I was telling the truth and I fought back. I'm still suffering the repercussions of that, but you know, I feel okay, and I felt I owed it to my son, because I couldn't have my son grow up in that environment or thinking that that was correct. And you know, like, and I fought really hard because I wanted to teach my son that when you're telling the truth, you have to fight every time, no matter what, you know. So for ladies, I just want to give somebody a platform here, and I'm putting it out here. Anybody wants to send the stories, you know, you can contact the aftermath of myself, and we'll talk to you. You don't have to show your face, you know, you can go without camera, and you can put another name. Cynthia is a therapist, you know, and we'll help you. And you know, at least you can talk to us, and you know, you will be heard in this little channel. Okay. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me. And see you tomorrow.
Fireside chat. I love you. You're so funny. You're brilliant. Great. Thanks for having us, Paula. I appreciate you. I love you lots. Love you guys. Bye. 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 Bye.